today I'm with Lydia Wilmsen. She's going to speak to us a little bit about her career, the beginning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. It's very sunny today, but not too warm in Cyprus, so I'm really happy.
That's amazing. So tell us a little bit about the beginning, how you decided to become a coach.
Yeah, sure. I didn't necessarily decide to become a coach. I just had my own issues. I was working through a lot of things about 20 years by now, 15 years ago. I did my first coaching certification. And I basically did this just for myself, to work through my issues, basically. But then you learn a lot of tools, you practice with the other people in the group, and I really enjoyed that. And then at some point, I was thinking, I love this work. I want to keep doing more of that. And then I started working with people and charging like the first paid sessions as well. And then I was like, yeah, I would love to build a business from that. But then the real work started because you can be an amazing coach, an amazing therapist, but it doesn't mean that your practice fills up, It's then a totally different thing to build a business from that. And this was then the journey afterwards. So yes, being a good coach, but then also, marketing and all of those things. But I love it. I still do it until today. And it has been a very rewarding journey, I have to say.
And what are the main challenges you face in your career as a coach?
The main challenges that I faced, I think that everyone faces in the beginning of their career, but also ongoing, is of course, it's a business. You have to attract the right clients and you have to put yourself out there. It has to do with visibility. So all the issues you had before, like in your personal life, you had to deal with that. And then the market changes. So 6, 7 years ago, because I was in the high ticket market, or I still am, people would just spend a lot of money very easily. But then we had COVID, we had inflation, all of those things. And then even people with a lot of money, wouldn't just put their money there. They would be very scared to invest. So you always have to look at the market and what is happening there and adjust and, see what is working now, what is not working anymore. So it's an ongoing process to adjust your business to what is demanded, basically, to the demand.
I get it. And how would you define a word that everyone says today, which is mindset? What is the importance of a mindset, a correct mindset?
Yeah, it's a really, really good word. And I actually used it when no one else used it then, 10 years ago. Everyone was like, what is a mindset coach? And now everyone is a mindset coach. It's so funny. So I would basically say it's a collection of your beliefs, of your assumptions, of your attitudes, of just your thought patterns that shape how you view reality. So it's your internal lens that you have on to look at reality. So everything is being filtered through that. So if you have beliefs and assumptions of I'm not good enough, no one likes me, business is never going well for me, this is like an inner assumption, inner belief, your reality will mirror that back to you. So this is your mindset. It's a set of belief, a set of assumptions that basically rules your reality. And someone else can have a totally different mindset. They can do the exact same thing, like you're doing the same strategy, but because they hold a belief of everything works out for me, everything is going great, everyone loves to work with me, everyone loves me, whatever, they will have a very different outcome in their reality, even though they follow the same strategies. So mindset always comes first. Your inner reality always comes first. Does that make
I
sense?
get it. Yeah. Is it similar to a radio frequency somehow? Because when you connect a radio frequency, you listen to a radio station. Is it somehow how it works?
Yeah, you could say that. It's almost like a frequency that you emit. It's a frequency either of I'm loved, I'm chosen, everyone wants to work with me, then this is the channel that's on, and this is the channel people tune into. Or you are on a frequency, no one wants to work with me, I'm not good enough, no one chooses me. That's a different frequency, and they attract very different people to listen to, basically. Good point.
And some people who make a mistake, they think it's always a toxic kind of positivity that we will always be positive. And this is impossible to our lives. Sometimes we have frustrations and some things that happen, correct?
Mm.
And but as you said, it's very important to be connected to self-esteem somehow, to believe in your dreams and act
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a good point that you're saying that because I'm totally not part of toxic positivity or fake positivity, even though I work with affirmations and all of that, but not coming from a place I just pretend nothing is there. So I do shadow work. I use, for example, EMDR and somatic tools, TRE, trauma tools to, yes, release the shit that's in there. So the negative stuff, like you, like a psychoanalyst, you work on the deep trauma, you work on what is like hidden very much in the shadow, the early imprints from childhood. And I do the same, probably with a little bit different methods. We have to take care of this deep inner blueprint. And it is way below just affirmations of I'm loved, I'm chosen, whatever. Like I work with affirmations, I love them. But we can't just slap a few affirmations on a rotten fundament. So we have to take care of that. And I use tools like EMDR, TRE, like trauma rewiring things or tools. And you probably have your own set of tools to really take care of that because that's the blueprint. That is what is underneath. So we have to take care of that, and just pretending everything is fine is bullshit because it's just pretending, but you're still running and acting from that mindset, from the mindset I'm not okay, even though you're saying I'm okay. So what is deep inside of you is still what is creating, and not just this one word that you're saying, like I'm okay. But if your whole being screams, I'm not okay, I'm not enough, this is what creates, and not the one phrase where you say like, oh, I'm enough, everything is perfect, everything is beautiful. Yeah.
That's true. And from your clients, what can you notice? For example, are the main problems on the mindset that keep them
Mhm.
at the same point? You know, some people do a
Mhm.
lot and don't change. Maybe the mindset could be one part of this problem. And what do you
Mhm.
see the most in your clients?
Yeah, I would say it's a process. You know, they come to me with other things than what we work on usually. So they come to me because they hustle a lot, they work a lot, and they just want still the same level of success or more, but just with feeling better, with more ease, having the whole thing more sustainable. So this is what they come to me with. But usually they are very successful, or they have a strong persona already. So you wouldn't think that they are struggling with that. But then when we work on things, it is usually tied to self-worth, you know? So high achievers, they work and achieve aim or constantly because this is where they draw their worth from. And if they don't achieve anymore, their worth collapses. So we have to shift it. We have to get it out away from achieving and connect it with their sense of being. So not their sense of doing, but their sense of being. And this, of course, people in the beginning, they don't know. They just think, hey, I want to achieve more, I want to be more successful, but that there is actually a lack of self-worth underneath that. This only comes up in the process of working together. You know what I mean? So this
Yeah.
is usually the main topics then. And then we also go into relationships, into personal life. And because business is very personal. So you always think, oh, I just scale my business, but your own business is extremely tied to yourself. So of course we have to work on personal things if you want to grow your business. And this is the
That's
work.
very important. What you said is about being right first. So you have to develop yourself, a mindset, and so you can develop your business with that, right? It's a deep
Exactly.
process, right?
Very deep process. Yeah. Hmm.
Very well. And what could you tell me about a daily basis, some tips on which we can use to be keeping mindset
Hmm.
positive and not a toxic
Not
positive, but
toxic. Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
on working on that.
Hmm. So I would have some kind of routine, for example, depending on what kind of person you are. It could be an affirmation routine if you think in words, you know, if you think in words. But if you more think in images, it could be visualization, just a routine of 5 minutes a day when you wake up. Loop in a visualization of how you want your day to go, or if you're working on a specific thing that you want to bring into your life, in a relationship, something in your business, loop a scene of like 5, 6 seconds and keep repeating and like live in that in your visualization for just 5 minutes in the morning. Or have affirmations like the ones that you want to foster, like I am enough. My day is perfect. Every day my life gets better, or whatever it is, like I would have to work with you to figure out what the people want to work on, but just even general affirmations. So instead of directly going into doom and gloom in the morning when you wake up, prime yourself with a little bit more positivity. And even when you shower, when you go out, watch your thoughts. I call it like mental diet. We always focus on physical diet, like what do we eat, but we never check what we put into our mind. So start with a mental diet. Like cater to your thoughts. Like, what do you want to think? And stop thinking all the shit that we think throughout the day, everything that could go wrong and so on. So that would be something as well. It could be something EMDR, like work with trauma rewiring tools, or with EFT to release, old emotional imprints. Something like that. Like there are so many things, but do something for your mind and for your emotions. It could, one more thing, somatic processing, some somatic movement. Just shake your body out for 2 minutes in the morning, like shake your whole body. Somatic movement means it's not like just let your body move instead of like following a choreography, or like in the gym, you do certain things, but no, just move your body. Or if you're angry, punch a pillow. If you're sad, hug yourself, or watch a video on somatic processing or something, So something like that, like many different tools, but have a routine of 5 to 10 minutes in the morning or throughout the day to take care of these things.
Yeah, one thing that you said is very important about your work is that it's individual, right? You
Yeah,
so you have a client and you understand well his necessities or his dreams, his ideas. This is very important. And
yeah.
what misconceptions do you think people have about the coach work? Because you have been working for so long, and you use some terms, as you said, mindset. Before it was trend topics,
Commonplace.
right? And what are the misconceptions people have today?
Misconceptions. I would say that there is a magical pill that you just throw in, and then one day later everything is fine. That's one misconception, that it's super easy, super fast, done, instant gratification. This is what they want. That's on the one end. And on the other end of the spectrum is it's going to be painful. It's going to take years. I'm going to suffer. Like, yes, there can be hard moments in that, but especially if you have a coach or a guide on your side, it can be different, It doesn't have to take years, not at all. Like, I often work with clients for years, but not because they struggle for years, but new things happen, The business is growing. First, they start the business, then they hit 6 figures, then they go beyond that. So there are new challenges, there are new ways of like looking at life, and perhaps in their relationships, they enter a relationship, then they want to build a family. So it's not that we work for years together because they keep suffering, but because new things happen in their life, And there can be hard times. It can be weeks where you think everything is going backwards and everything is going to shit, but it's not like that, and I always say, if you knew that your life would be amazing and epic afterwards, wouldn't you choose to go for that? And even if it's a week or even a month of hardship, wouldn't you go for it if you know that afterwards your life is going to be amazing? And would you really rather choose to stay in the horror that you have at the moment, which will then be forever? If you don't change, it will be like that forever. So rather do expect a month or half a month where you tackle deep inner things. But with a guide, with a coach, with a therapist on your side, it's so much easier than by yourself. So it's neither a magical pill, nor is it endless suffering. So that would be common misconceptions I think people have about this inner work.
That's amazing. And I noticed that you're a great professional. And this investment that people can do is not only financial investment, it's much more about your energy into the process. And having a good professional such as you will help a lot, right? So things
Mhm.
can take some time naturally, but it can help immediately. Sometimes we don't actually
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah. And it's so much quicker. And I saw those calculations from people. You know what a divorce costs. If you have a successful business and you divorce, you can lose millions. Why not invest 20,000 in powerful coaching? Sorry, so that you don't have to get divorced. And because the people who work with me on their relationships, it always gets amazing again, and divorce is off the table. Or, like depending on what's going on, but just saying, or people with massive health challenges, like the costs of a heart attack and all of those things, they are gigantic. And people never think about that. If you don't take care of your life, you will have massive costs, but you're not thinking about them. You're thinking, oh God, I'm going to invest thousands in coaching. Yes, but then you don't have to invest multi-thousands or hundreds of thousands in recovering your health for years, even
That's true.
so, or losing your business, because you're like in a strange state of mind. There are so many ways. And the last point, people pay hundreds of thousands, I think, in the US for university degrees. And then they never really work with that. But it's so normal to invest in that. But investing in yourself, that's the best that no one can take away from you. That's
Yeah,
my
and you said
mindset about investment.
that's true. And you said something really important about mind's diet and not only body's diet. Yeah, because um, and that's why the process is like this. You meant it's not only solving a problem and finishing the process, because there is always a demand on life, right? And if you work on yourself all the time during your whole life, you'll be stronger.
Yeah, and happier. There is a blueprint also in us. Like I come from a lot of challenges in my childhood, a lot of struggle. And for a long time, I was deeply wired just to survival. So I couldn't really even feel a lot of happiness. Or if a lot of good stuff came into my life, I couldn't tolerate it. It sounds funny, everyone says, oh, I want to be happy. But you have to learn to be happy. You have to train your nervous system. You have to train the capacity of your nervous system to tolerate happiness. So it's not just about solving problems, it's about learning how to let so much goodness into your life. Love, joy, happy, like joy, really deep, deep, deep joy, that you don't have to run away from it. And people don't get it. It's really crazy. It's a big thing. How much happiness can you tolerate actually in your life?
That's true. Food for thought, right?
Yes.
And I know that your work is individual. You is customized. Everyone that is looking for your work will be um, individuals. But what can you say if I want to reach you and do the process? How can I contact you, get to know more about your work?
Hmm. Of course, you can just check out, or people can go to my website, read through my website, which is my name, lydiawilmsen.com. And I don't just do one-to-one coaching. I also have a group, the Mind Mastery community, where you can start even with just $9 a month and join on a lower tier or get into group coaching as well. So there is even the availability for people who don't yet want to invest a lot. So that is basically the group offer I have, a community, powerful community, and then a mastermind for people who are already kind of successful and really want to grow, and then one-to-one coaching. So it's all on my website and the link to my community as well. Very
Thank you
simple.
very much. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing with us your beautiful work and demystifying a little bit about coaching, which is corrupted a little bit in my country, unfortunately. But thank you for sharing with us. And any messages, final messages for people around the world that are gonna listen to you?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I would have so many messages. We could do so many different interviews because There is so much to say about this. It's so beautiful, this world of inner work. Like once you tap into that, and I know in the beginning it can be frightening. I remember when I was really frightened about my emotions, I had so much anger in me that I thought if I opened up that bottle, like this inner feelings, I would just start hurting other people. I really thought I wouldn't be able to contain my rage. And the same with sadness. I really repressed all these emotions because I thought if I opened that, I wouldn't be able to contain it. But if you have guidance and support on your side, like this fear is not necessary. You know, we can always work through that. And there are amazing tools. And once you stop repressing those things, you get access to so much energy. All the energy that at the moment you're using to suppress those emotions and those memories. Once you take this energy back, you have massive amounts of energy for actually the things you desire to create. So I would say that's one thing. And then we also briefly talked about books, and I just wanted to give like one book recommendation, which is kind of special. And it's basically it's called Existential Kink. And it's from Carolyn Elliott. And it's basically deep shadow work. And it is about working with the dark sides of you internally and really understanding where all those dark things come from and learning to enjoy them, like learning to let them out internally. And again, instead of suppressing the shadow, learning to use that energy and to not be frightened about it anymore. And this transforms you from the inside out. So you're not cutting yourself in half anymore, you know, toxic positivity. I'm just positive. No, there is a huge part of me that I'm suppressing, and I have to learn to integrate it. It's not in order to become a bad person and act out on those things. No, it's about integrating those things that are still running you. You have to understand, even if you're suppressing them, they are still running you, but from the shadows. And we bring them into the light. We learn to integrate them so that they don't have to do any harm in your life or in the lives of other people anymore. So that would be a book recommendation, a really crazy one, but it really has helped me to transform my life and also the ones from my clients. Yeah, and I could talk for ages more, but I think we leave it with that.
That's great, and I hope to interview you again very soon.
Thank you so much.